Hello, welcome to another episode of Executive Suite. And today we're here today with Michael Kiss, the CEO and co-founder, I believe, or founder of Symmetry Commerce.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Okay. And what they're doing is helping e-commerce companies basically scale up and get the kind of sales that everybody dreams about getting with their e-commerce website. Michael, can you quickly give us a brief overview of what Symmetry Commerce does?
Yeah, and I'll start just a little bit before Symmetry
Mm-hmm.
Commerce to myself. I worked at Shopify for about 8 years, graduated engineering school, always been a software individual. And after working at Shopify for about 8 years, I called my co-founder, Io Hansen, and I said, hey, I think we can go take all the lessons we've learned at Shopify and start to actually provide value to what we call merchants. And that's what Symmetry Commerce is. We try to connect with merchants, see what challenges they're facing in their business, and then work with them to help on different strategies, building different pieces of technology so that they can continue to scale. We've landed in a really lucky spot where Shopify has been increasing their investment in growth and the product, and they've been decreasing their investment in services. So we've actually had, we catch a lot of talent from Shopify. I think 85% of our staff is former Shopify employees. And we use the knowledge that we all accumulated working there to provide value to e-commerce merchants and help them grow their businesses.
Okay. So are you working mostly for established companies then, or are you also helping startup sites?
Yeah, I'd say we don't exclude anyone, but we do tend to see more established companies in our client base. Of the startups that we do deal with, usually there's some sort of venture backing or initial capital investment. So it might be a celebrity spinning off a new brand or an established company. But usually we don't see the individuals who came up with an idea, they saw a commercial on YouTube and they're ready to go. Usually we're a bit expensive for an initial investment there.
Okay. So tell us about Symmetry Commerce. So I've got an e-commerce website, and you want to land me as a client. What do you say about Symmetry Commerce? What can you offer us?
Perfect. So the idea that we try to really, really uphold is that we want to help. And so we'll reach out to a business where we see issues. Is it a slow loading website? Is it broken checkouts? Is it something like that? And we try to actually establish that, okay, there's room for improvement here and we know how to help. Then from there, we'll establish the connection and start to dig deeper, ask more questions about the business, where they want to go, and if they're, if they have pain points along the way that they're able to overcome or they need assistance. And then we start to position ourselves on, how we can help them build. The main thing that we encounter is the platform. So usually we'll see a lot of businesses that are on a WooCommerce, a BigCommerce, a Magento. They've had overseas engineers working on it for 10 years and they start tripping over themselves and they can't do the cool marketing initiatives, reach out to more customers. They've got all of these keeping the lights on tasks that are costing them time, money, and breaking the customer experience. And that's usually where we end up helping. We end up coming up with a migration strategy. How do we move all of the customer data and order data that you've been building over years to a platform like Shopify? How do we make the front end look and feel modern, snappy, make people want to check out, want to shop, get the information they need? And then we are really, really good at identifying technology gaps. So if they've got big accounting systems that need to be connected to the Shopify platform, or they've got complex requirements to fulfill overseas, or something like medical requirements, we help hash out, okay, here's technology if we build it custom, or apps that we know that are really, really good that plug into the platform, and ultimately build them a path to upgrade their entire technology stack. And then we work with them long term to work on new growth initiatives and marketing.
Okay. So assuming everything's working smoothly in the whole checkout process and that, um, what can you do to increase the revenue of these companies? Like, are you doing search engine optimization? You mentioned outreach.
Right. So that's a great topic of conversation. It's all about what makes that business successful or what they're leaning into. So there are lots of established businesses where search engine optimization is really, really important. Maybe a different topic as we get into AI and the modernization of technology. We're seeing actually now making your brand AI relevant and coming up in ChatGPT recommendations is often more important for newer brands. So identifying what are the levers that the business is pulling on to, and there are three big things that you work on: conversion rate. So what is in charge or a big driver of the percentage of customers that land on the site that actually reach checkout? The average order value, how much are people actually purchasing? And then recurring orders, how many people are coming back? So depending on what they're trying to optimize for, will help design a suite of solutions to help push forward in one of those areas. To give you an
Okay.
example,
Hmm.
oh, sorry, Thomas, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask you, what exactly is the difference between the AI chat GPT SEO and, say, Google search engine SEO?
Yeah, great point. So SEO, it's kind of a black box. So it's ever evolving. Google's controlled. What keywords bring you to the top of search results, and it's all about responding to queries. So you're building language in a way where you're almost responding to questions. Whereas we're seeing AI is very conversational. And so you need a lot more content based information on your website so that you pop up in a conversation naturally. If someone's saying, "Hey, I'm looking for a recommendation for my father for Christmas." If you have a bunch of keywords that talk about your specific, I don't know, drill or tool, it's not going to be integrated into that conversation. And one of the interesting connections we've found actually is there's a whole segment of e-commerce called accessibility and compliance. You want to be ADA compliant, so people who require screen readers or have accessibility needs, making your site accessible to them often leads to a bunch of the content required for your integration into AI. So having really good descriptions of what the images are on the page, so that someone with a screen reader can navigate the site without seeing. Really great for an AI to go in and actually pick up and be like, oh, there's an information sheet about this product on this thing, and then responding to those conversations.
Okay. So now getting back to Shopify, right? So
Mhm.
so you're totally focused on Shopify, and you're helping even helping people migrate over to Shopify. What's so great about Shopify, and why should they migrate?
I am a little bit biased. I worked there for so long, but our decision to be a Shopify only partner is so many table stakes capabilities are just taken care of by the platform. So it's actually kind of counterintuitive to my business model because we charge by the hour, and the more problems, the more we get to bill. Shopify actually solves a lot of those problems. A big example is security updates. Shopify is up to date all the time. I cannot bill for security update because we never do them because Shopify just handles it for us. So we wanted to pick a platform that we would be able to stand behind and provide the most value to clients. And Shopify is just leading the pack. They're releasing new functions, new features, and they're thinking about e-commerce 10 years from now, today. And if you're on Shopify today, you're just going to start getting those features and functionalities automatically rolled out, automatically integrated. Life is going to be better in every day versus building a Frankenstein that is exactly what you asked for and just kind of acquires bloat over time that you're eventually going to need to move away from. That's why we chose it. And that's why Shopify is unmatched in the e-commerce space.
Nice. Okay. Um, now, one of my other questions about Shopify was that we know that they have thousands and thousands of startup companies. Um, but what are some of the big names that are on Shopify?
Some of the big names that I used to work with, Fashion Nova, they're a massive brand, Staples Canada, Allbirds, On Running, um, not kind of a big name, but it's been changing over time. I worked with Radio Shack at one point. Really, everyone who's innovating in the e-commerce space and building up amazing businesses, you're seeing that more and more are standing behind the Shopify brand, and people are noticing. They're
Okay.
sitting on the platform,
Mm,
just growing.
okay. And but the Shopify name isn't necessarily on the website. It looks like does it look like just the company's own website?
Yeah, exactly. There's a common misconception that every Shopify store looks the same.
Hmm.
Shopify provides you all of the code in what they call a theme. And you can modify and even design a theme completely from scratch. So our services based website that has nothing to do with selling products online, we built it on Shopify. It's completely custom, does not look like any other Shopify site. And then there are also, Shopify provides you the ability to build applications that also are not on platform, but use Shopify's core data model. So you can really truly build anything on Shopify. And that's also one of Symmetry Commerce's advantage over, I think we're 50 years total tenure of ex Shopify employees. Like we've seen it almost everything be done on the platform. And it's not really in the documentation. It's not at the front of their website. So we lean on our past knowledge to just be like, we can do that. And then usually we'll get clients sign with us because we have an idea of how extensible the platform is.
Right, and I guess you can also go into the developer areas and insert bits of code or fix things, identify problems. And of course, if you don't know what you're doing, you should not go in there at all and touch anything, or you can completely screw things up, right?
Exactly. And I would say that's why half of our team is developers. And then what's also interesting is as AI emerges, people are getting braver and getting into the code base. The cool thing about Shopify is they give you the developer areas of the platform, but you're still restricted at some level so that you can't totally collapse your business. You can do some pretty horrendous errors if you really try, but it protects the developers or the vibe coders as well, which is also a great part of the platform.
Okay, so I had that experience actually with I think it was with Wix,
Yep.
where ChatGPT said, Well, this is the code you should have to boost your SEO." And but you have to go into that area that's for developers only. And I just thought, no, like if you don't know what you're doing, just cutting and pasting this code in there could just screw everything up. And then you'll end up
Yes.
having to hire somebody to undo the mess that you just created. Um, so I kind of understand what you're talking about there. Now, the other big thing now, of course, is AI. How is that going to change these Shopify e-commerce websites besides AI agents? We didn't even talk about AI agents or whether or not you do that.
Yeah. Um, I think AI is definitely changing the landscape and it's enabling people to get into areas of their business that they never previously experienced. Like you said, you can now, with a prompt, get some developer code that you could insert, but are you sure? How confident are you willing to go? So we've seen a shift in the services we've provided where we're actually providing an augmentation layer where we're not doing the entire bit of work end to end, but we're supporting someone else's initiative based off of AI. So one of the clients we were working with, they wanted an application to help them with upsells. So once someone checked out, it would say, "Oh, thank you for your purchase. Would you like to purchase this product as well?" And so they said they got 80% there, but they didn't want to tank the business. They just wanted a couple people who knew what they were doing to go and audit everything and actually do the implementation. So we've almost noticed this last mile delivery in services become a bigger part of our business as AI scales up, which has been very interesting.
Okay. And how much do you do that's related to marketing? Because one of the things that is on it was either on your website or your LinkedIn, but you say you're crafting unforgettable online experiences. So is that more just the look of the website, or are you actually working on outreach or inbound marketing?
Yeah. A lot of the businesses we work with, they want to hold on to control of the marketing initiative. That's what makes them special. So, one of the things, if you're ever thinking about building an e-commerce brand, it's like having an understanding of where your customer is, where the channels are that you want to hit, and what strategies you want to employ. we usually leave that to our clients. Now, we support the marketing effort by making sure, and the look and feel is a part of it, but the foundational elements are all there. So, a simple example with another client we worked with, they had a large sales and promotion event they wanted to execute on. We suggested building out a loyalty program so that people would be referring people pre-sale, and we had everything built so that was a couple clicks of a button instead of a development initiative. We had a headline action bar that they could then modify with the language and copy that they required. So when they started building out social media ads and releasing content, users would land and immediately know why they're there. So building kind of those supporting technology elements is where the majority of our business comes from, rather than directly running and being a marketing agency.
Mm. And do Shopify websites have AI agents?
Shopify websites have AI agents in a variety of forms. Again, depending on the opportunity that a client is going after. The biggest one we see is support is the big emerging component of AI chatbots, where when you see the little chat window, you can go in and start chatting, and it utilizes the content of the website, all the products to provide recommendations and almost a sales experience. And what we found is an interesting component there is dialing down, I'll call it the hallucination level, so that customers aren't misguided to purchase the wrong product, which leads to returns. But yes, seeing a tremendous amount of AI integrated into websites for chat and customer experience. And then on the back end for data analytics and understanding trends and purchases and building content based on how the store is performing.
Okay. So I get that, how that all would help these medium large businesses. But if you are a startup company, for example, is that something where all of this could help them as well? Because I'm thinking with an AI agent, it would be great if they could at least handle all of the returns and everything. Um, Particularly if you've managed to outsource all of that with some kind of drop ship service.
Yes. If you're starting out, the AI agents are amazing at helping automate tasks and get information flowing to and from both customers to your warehouse and fulfillment center, taking away a lot of the click manual, taking a look at something and moving it over. That's where we're seeing a lot of individuals utilize and build AI agents.
Okay. So let's move on just briefly to about I just want to talk about the issue here, which would be scaling your business up. Okay, this
Yeah,
is a little bit more getting back to the founder's journey here. So you've been at it for 1.5 years. You
correct.
left the comfort of working for a big company where you get a guaranteed paycheck. It sounds like things are going pretty well for you. You've got eight people working there. Do you have plans for scaling up?
When did you last look up? Yes, we are going to scale. When did you last look up the 8 people?
I don't know. I think I saw it somewhere on either on LinkedIn or something like that.
Perfect. The reason that I ask
Mm-hmm.
is we're at 15 today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if that we were 8 people 4 months ago, we're
Okay.
15 today. We'll be about 20 in September.
Mm-hmm.
That is the mission. So leaving the very well paying established company, I had about 45 people on my team. It was an awesome journey, great place to work, amazing experience overall at Shopify. I'm not going to settle for, you know, running a stable business where, we're guaranteed a decent paycheck and we're keeping things the same. It's all about hyper growth. We want to be 50 to 100 people in 3 to 4 years, and scaling has been our main focus as we've gone on this journey. It's always in the back of our mind.
Right. And then I guess you will have to transition to managing the whole thing versus doing any of the work yourself. So
Exactly.
now, so uh, Shopify is cutting back on their services.
Mhm.
You also have people experimenting with AI and then needing your services to finish the job. Um, so I guess if you could give me an idea of how big is Shopify anyway? Like how big is this market that you can potentially service? And what percentage of it do you think you could realistically get one day?
Ooh. I'll try to, keep the dreams out of the call and talk what I think is realistic. So the industry is massive. Um, I can't remember what the exact statistics are, and that's probably good for privacy reasons. But Black Friday, Cyber Monday, merchants just on Shopify were processing trillions of dollars in orders just over a weekend. So behind that is all the businesses. And I think last time when I was looking many moons ago, there were 3 million businesses on Shopify. And so each of them, if they would like to grow, usually require products and services from either technology vendors or service providers like myself. And the market is huge. And as Shopify has scaled back its service offering, I can't give you an exact number, but I've seen the bigger players start to enter the market. So your Deloitte's, your Accentures, your KPMGs have started to say, like, how do we build Shopify practices?
By
And I
by buying your company.
exactly.
That's what they do, right? Because they can't really start stuff up on their own necessarily. Like they're not really startup people.
100%. And that's on our strategy board. That is a potential outcome for us, which would be cool. But I think the biggest Shopify agency that we've encountered, they're about 400 individuals, and they still have a fraction of the percent of the work. So there's a huge opportunity out there. There's not enough Shopify partners. And if you start to look into Shopify partners, service providers, there's a ton of investment pouring in. They just rolled out changes to their revenue share model. It's one of the most generous revenue share models I've encountered in the technology space. So just a brief summary, they will give you 15 to 20% of the revenue they earn from merchants in perpetuity for life.
Right.
That's how
Oh, and that's
aggressive
if
they're
you
being.
recruit somebody over to their platform.
It used to be if you recruit somebody over to the
Mhm.
platform, but this summer they changed it to if you launch them on the platform, it's 15%. So Shopify could go use their many millions of dollars of marketing to establish a lead, and they decide that that lead becomes an opportunity, and they sign up to the Shopify platform, and they are unequipped to do the migration themselves, and they call a company like us, even though we have had no part in the sales process, or a limited part in the sales process. If we're the partner responsible for getting them across the line, because that's when Shopify actually can earn revenue from the merchant, that attribution, that 15%, is attributed to us in perpetuity.
Nice. Well, it sounds like a great opportunity for an AI outreach campaign
It
to
is.
convert some of these people. So I think that I think we've covered just about everything we wanted to cover. Was there anything else that you wanted to bring up?
Not too much. I would just say maybe an important thing that I've learned over the years is you get a lot of the ads of start a Shopify business, sign up for this program. Um, my advice is be really, really critical on who your customer is, who you're marketing to, and don't try to boil the ocean. Go after something specific and grow it piece by piece over time. Usually it's many hours, many late nights, and tens of thousands of dollars in marketing campaigns that failed. So just bringing that realistic lens to the platform.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Um, Thank you for joining us. And thank you, Michael, for coming on. It's been a pleasure. And I hope to keep in touch with you and everybody else. Thank you again. Bye for now.